Hello and welcome in, friends. This is the Lord and the Rings because conjunctions are more exciting than definite articles, right? Well, I'm Justin, and today we want to talk about laying down yourself for a friend or a friend laying down themselves for you. This is huge to the Christian worldview. This is huge to the world of Tolkien and to this story. The faith of Tolkien is unavoidable as a Catholic who cherish the Bible, but even for those who are not yet Christian, there's always you can see and feel something spiritual about reading and experiencing the Lord of the Rings because so much of his work bubbles up from his worldview and his lived experience in England, having lived through a world war or two. So the idea of self-sacrifice, of friendship, of laying down yourself for the sake of another is beautifully woven into the Lord of the Rings. And so I want to show you a scene here in a moment of the three hunters. Okay, but first, I thought I'd share a verse that beautifully captures both Christianity, the Christian's relationship to Jesus, and I mean, I don't know if there's a better picture of friendship in all of Tolkien. That might be a hot take as we look at Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas. So let me take you to the Bible verse real quick, and then we'll break down the scene. But as I'm going there, take a moment to comment. What is the most sacrificial thing a friend has ever done for you? Let's remind each other that the world is good, right? I know for me, there was a time when I worked at Kroger in college, and there was Miss Rose. She was maybe a 70-year-old lady who had worked there forever. And when I graduated college, she gave me a $5 bill. And she was a friend at this point. We'd worked together for 2 years, and I still think that was the most sacrificial gift, like proportionally, that anyone has ever given to me. And it just reminds me that the world is good, that there is good still in the world, even while there is so much evil. And so go ahead and comment. Okay, here's what I want to show you. John 15. Let me zoom in here for a second. Verses 12 and 13. This is Jesus talking. This is my commandment that you love one another. So Christianity is best defined as love. Everything flows from there. We should be known by our love as I have loved you. Now, grammatically, okay, you can think grammatically, it's like mathematically, as is like an equal sign. So we love one another as in the same way that Jesus has loved us. How has Jesus loved us? Greater love has no one than this, that someone laid down his life for his friends. So love and friendship, Jesus shows us ultimately by the cross, but this is what we are to do as believers. And this flows through Tolkien, that there is not a greater love than someone laying down a life for a friend. Friendship is built on love, and to sacrifice for that is just a powerful thing. And so I want to see this in action. Here's a pivotal scene in The Lord of the Rings where we have Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas, and they are going to torture themselves so that their friends, Merry and Pippin, are not tortured. Okay, I know that sounds crazy, but I think Christians here in the West, and I think all people in the West, were a little bit hyper-individual, and we can get too comfortable, and we can live in this false narrative of peace, and we forget that we need each other. This scene is going to just, I hope, blow our minds, because there is a moment in The Lord of the Rings where the Fellowship, the group that bands together to destroy this ring, it breaks. Frodo and Sam, we know, head off by boat. Boromir dies trying to protect Merry and Pippin and from being kidnapped by the orcs, and the orcs do kidnap them. They do take them off towards Isengard in the opposite direction of Frodo and Sam, and they're going to torture them for information. And so we're left with Aragorn, a man, Gimli, a dwarf, Legolas, an elf. Already pretty crazy as you think about friendship. They arrive at this scene where they essentially, there's a fork in the road, right? They have to chase after Frodo and Sam, or they break the Fellowship and they chase down these orcs to rescue their friends from torture. We know they choose to chase down the orcs, and then Aragorn has this incredible line. By the way, there's the rescue friends. What are they going to do? Aragorn has this awesome line where we read, "With hope or without hope, we will follow the trail of our enemies. And woe to them if we prove the swifter. We will make let me do this. We will make such a chase as shall be accounted a marvel among the three kindreds, elves, dwarves, and men. Forth, the three hunters. Now I know we all have chill bumps after that, right? This scene it's profound to me because the road before them as they chase down Merry and Pippin is awful. Y'all remember for days on end through sleepless nights, mountains, hills, valleys, crossing streams, the three hunters they nearly kill themselves chasing after orcs. And even if they catch up to these orcs, let's assume that the Rohirrim don't show up. I mean, we're talking like probably death, right? They are just full abandon, chasing after their friends, and they torture themselves. They hurt so that their friends won't be hurt. And so maybe a good way to think through it is, I don't know if you've ever done a hike that just nuked you, just knocked the wind out of you. Here's my question. Would you do that hike 10 times in a row if it meant saving someone that you love from torture? You got to feel it a little bit, but like, that's the burden I'm talking about with friendship. That's the burden that we see in Tolkien and the Lord of the Rings that I think the church can be lacking. I say this as someone who is in the church, as a pastor who is fighting for her, someone who is often guilty myself. I'm crazy about, myself and self-furthering and self-advancement when the gospel and the Christian lifestyle apprenticing to Jesus is to lay ourselves down for the sake of others. But let me phrase it as a question. Will we embrace certain costs, personal costs, to receive certain gains? Costs for gains, personal costs for communal, other people gains. I wanted to show you one more passage real quick. And while I'm going there, please subscribe. Oh, how about here? Please subscribe and let's increase the fellowship, increase the company, one person at a time. Please comment any thoughts you have because I'd love to make this into a conversation. But in Ephesians chapter 6, let me erase all this. Verses 10 through 20, we have this amazing, I guess you could say like it's easy to oversee, but we have this amazing reality where you have finally be strong in the Lord and the strength of his might, put on the whole armor of God that you. Here's my question. This word you, is this word singular or plural? Because that changes the theology, that changes the practicality of Christianity. It's plural. And it's not the only one. For we, so this is second person plural, right? In the South, we say y'all. Okay, I don't know where you are, but down here in the South in America, North America, you may be able to stand. For we, first person plural, do not wrestle against flesh and blood, against the rulers, blah, 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 blah. Therefore, take up the whole armor of God that you, second person plural. It keeps going on. Stand therefore, shoes at the feet, your. Okay, it's just on and on. And then down here you get, to that end, keep alert with all perseverance for all the saints. Okay, so my point is, if you look through this passage, there is only plural when you think about who this is being addressed to. Now that matters because in Christianity and in Tolkien, this isolationism is not a good thing. It is a bad thing. It's something to be frowned upon. There is this innate sense that we need each other. And so in the church, we have these ideas like me and Jesus at Starbucks. My best Sunday morning corporate worship isn't corporate at all. It is me and Jesus at Starbucks. And maybe it's the lake. Maybe it's the driving range. Maybe it's, soccer fields. I don't know what it is. These are great places of worship, but not as substitutes of the local church, but maybe as supplements to every once in a while, right? These are like me having a Bible study with a friend at Starbucks. That's awesome. That is not a substitute of the local church. This is a isolationist mentality. This is me taking it easy. Or you can think about the fact that there really is nothing individual about your life. If you are in any kind of community, if you think about yourself as part of an army, everything that you do has ramifications on your community, even if it's private. So if you think of like going into war, there are soldiers who have been lazy and they are weak And if they have not been putting in the work at home, privately, then when war comes, they're not strong enough to lift the shield for an ally. They're not going to be that strong to take on 3 guys to let you off. My point is, everything you do, this is haunting. This is also really inspiring, has ripples that affect all of us, affect the army, affect your community. As we embrace personal costs following Jesus, putting in the work of the spiritual disciplines, taking our sin seriously enough to confess it, to kill it, to repent from it, this actually helps other people. I don't know if you've ever been inspired by other people in your life that have helped you walk your faith with Jesus as you've watched them walk closely with Jesus. They're just inspiring you. And I think that leads to kind of a last benefit, a last gain of kind of this communal living of laying yourself down for your friends, is that you get a legacy. I think of my grandma who grew up a nobody, who picked cotton, and she for decades she lived quietly, ordinary. She taught Sunday school, not Sunday school. She led me to Jesus. She loved her husband, her kids, her grandkids. She just impacted thousands of people. She laid herself down in the quiet, in the private, in the individual, and communally. She served everyone. And she's still alive. She's kind of nearing the end. And so there's a lot there, but it's just good to celebrate that. But as we lay ourselves down for others, not only do they thrive, but we thrive. That's how we're made to be. So as we end, whoever your friends are, love them. Lay yourself down for them. It starts there. You do that, I bet they start to do the same. Then you'll have more appreciation for the Lord of the Rings because you are one of the 3 hunters. So that is a awesome picture, an awesome scene from the Lord of the Rings where we see these guys lay themselves down for Merry and Pippin at personal cost for communal gains, and how it connects to us as Christians, for us as friends, to lay ourselves down for the sake of others, even if it hurts us, good, because it saves, it protects, it helps other people out. So you guys watch one of these videos, subscribe, comment, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.